Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Before starting my video, if you didn't subscribe my channel yet, please do, and do not forget to turn on notifications as I'm sharing everyday great contents for you. Alright guys, before start my lesson, let me explain what I done for the preparation. Okay, I create a controller which is named talk helper controller, and I create a view. Right click on index and go to I create a view here to work on it. Alright, perfect. If you create the same preparation, we can continue with the talk helper explanation. So what is that talk helpers? If you remember our previous lesson, I taught you the HTML helpers, and I mentioned about how hard to use them because they are not easy to read, and if you don't know anything about the coding, you're going to get a hard times to use HTML helpers. Just imagine you are using just HTML codes in your project. You're just doing design, so you don't need to know the classes and functions, right? So it makes hard to use HTML helpers to create our HTML language structure. So tag helpers here to help us. Okay, it is the new structure to help us using HTML and C# codes in our project. All right, and also I mentioned about how cost HTML helpers us in our project. If you use the tag helpers, it is going to less cost for the developer and the server as well. Okay, let's go to the view section and create a HTML helper, and let's see how it's going to hard to read it. Okay, let's go to view. Let's try to create a form first. HTML. To do that, we are using begin form. To create a form, let's have a look at our overloads. We can add a method. Actually, I'm going to use the fourth one, I guess. No, is that fourth one or fifth one? Let me have a look. Yeah, action name and control name. And the other one is attributes. Yep, method. I'm going to use the 8 overloads, action name, control name, and the method. To create a form, the first one is the action name. Let's say index. The controller name, tag helpers, and for the form method, we're going to use an enumerator which is called form method dot, and it is going to be post or get, whatever. Let's say get. Okay, but I'm going to use the post. All right, perfect. So this function, HTML helper function, create us a form. This is a quick reminder for you. Okay, let's type here a form. Okay, let's type here action, and let's type here method post. Let's say action index. Let's say no, that's all. Yeah, this is how we're using HTML helper to create this form. But tag helper help us to create this form using HTML codes. So as you can see, this is hard to read. It's not readable. Yeah. So that's why we are using tag helpers at the moment. Maybe future times there will be another technology, but right now we are using tag helper much more if we compare with the HTML helpers. So to make this action, to make a tag helper, we just add ASP dash. Now we are using tag helper to define action, and ASP controller to define our controller. All right, let's make this fix. The name is wrong. Okay. As you can see, this is how we are creating our form with the tech helper instead of HTML helper. All right, let's make this section command line, and let's continue with the other section, which is integration. As you can see, I'm able to use my ASP prefix to use my tag helpers, but to use that, there is a Vue imports. I have a tag helper namespace added in my Vue imports. We're going to talk about Vue imports for later, okay? Uh, that's why I'm not gonna use my tag helpers in my Vue page, not here. Let's cut it and let's put it here. Okay. To create one, let me type step by step again. Add tag helper. This is our command, and we have a comma here. Oops, sorry, not here. We're going to add a comma here. The before comma, we're going to add our tag helper class, which one you would like to add, and the after comma, you're going to add your namespace. This is your namespace, and this is the class you would like to add. So if you would like to add all classes belong to tag helper, just put star. This is how we are creating our tag helpers, guys. Perfect. Let's open this command line. Okay. Let's delete this tag helper. You will see the color will be changed and ASP prefix not gonna work anymore. As you can see, it seems a normal attribute. So to activate it, we need to add our namespace and classes in our views. Oops. Yeah, like this one. All right. Let's make this section command line and continue with the other section. How to use tag helpers. Okay, let's create a form and input. We already create our form here. Okay. Oops. Let's uncomment this section. We already create our form using ASP prefix. And let's try to type an input. To make this with the HTML helpers, let's remember add HTML. For example, if you would like to add a text box, and let's say expression, something here. Alright, this is how we're adding text box if you're using HTML text box. It's unreadable, right? So we're going to use, instead of HTML helper, we are using tag helpers. Input. This is the normal, as you can see, HTML codes. Let's delete these sections. Type is going to be text. All right. To add a tag helper here, normally we are using ASP again. As you can see, you will see all the ASP prefix. All the classes has the ASP prefix. ASP action, all data, area, controller, for. We're going to use ASP4 to binding our input in our project. Okay. For example, this input will belong to a property which is called title. We're going to type here title, and it's going to be taken automatically from our models. When it comes to the model binding section, guys, I'm going to explain how we are going to use ASP4 much more deeply. Alright, let's leave it like that for now. Alright, let's continue with our section. Cache helper. Cache tag helper. Okay, let's do a small explanation to see what is the cache tag helper. Let's make this section comment. What's happening? Why I couldn't? Alright, I guess this one is making problem. Let's delete this. Alright. Now it's working. Okay. Let's type here cache. As you can see, this cache um, tag comes from our library. If you delete your namespace, it is going to be normal attribute and it won't going to work. Okay, let's add it again. Perfect. Now it's okay. Let's add a date here because this is the best way to see cache is working or not. Okay, date comes from cache at datetime.now, and let's edit here again. That's comes from um let's say normal. Okay, this is datetime now. Okay, let's run this view. Where is our view? Tech helper, view in browser. I'm waiting now. If you use your codes in your cache attribute, they are going to be cached. Alright. Okay, date comes from cache. As you can see, this is the date. These are exactly the same, but once I click the refresh button, and this is going to stay same, and this is going to be changed because it is coming from cache. It's already cached. As you can see, the right hand side date is changing, but the left hand side is stay same. This is how we are using cache tag helpers. Okay, let's make this section command as well. Let's continue what we have. Environment tag helpers. If you would like to run your commands, run your codes according to your environment, you can use environment tag helpers. Let's go to our view and see how we can manipulate our data according to our environment. We are using environment tag, and let's say names is going to be production. Alright, so if once I click the run button, if we are in production environment, this code is going to work. Okay, let's add here h5. I am coming from production environment. Let's copy development. If we are in development environment, and this code line, code block will be initialized. So how we understand which environment are we in? As a default, we are in development environment right now, and let's start our application and see the result. All right, let's wait. Okay, we are in index. Let's go tech helper slash index. As you can see, I'm coming from development environment. We use development side codes because we are not in production right now. Let's change our environment to the production from development, and let's see the result if it's going to change or not. To do that, right click your project, go to properties. Let's go debug section. Yep, click this option. We are in HTTPS. As you can see, we are in development. Let's change this to production. Okay. I guess it's going to be saved automatically. Let's change. Yeah, it seems it's okay. Let's run our application again. Let's go tag helpers index. As you can see, I'm coming from production environment. This is how we are using environment tag helpers, guys. All right, let's take back our development environment. Perfect. Oops, sorry. Yeah, it's done. Perfect. Let's close and continue with the next subject, which is image tag helper. Before starting explanation our image tag helper, I'm going to explain some details about how the caching mechanism working. Okay, let me open my table. Okay, let's flood the background. Perfect. Guys, let's imagine this is server and this is the client. Okay, let's type here server and this is the client. Once you try to send a request to the server, you're going to receive all the details with the text, images, whatever you have. Okay, so the client, sorry, not you, the client going to put them all to the cache. Okay, next time you try to next time you try to send another request to the server, if nothing has been changed, your request comes from the cache, right? Perfect. So what if the admin of the server change the data, for example a picture, and upload this picture with the same name, um, with the before picture name? So what's gonna happen? The actual picture is going to be different, but you're going to take the same, I mean previous image from your cache because the names are same. To prevent this action, our tech helpers comes with a new feature with append version. Okay, let's close that one. ASP append version. Let me try to show you. Go to the view. Okay, we are using img tag. All right, let's say, and let's close it. Is that correct? It's not working right now. ASP append version. Perfect. Yeah. This is our path of our picture. Okay. To prevent this action, only we need to add ASP append version true. Once you add this tag, guys, when you send your request to the server, it is going to be checked is there any changes, including the how can I say, even if the name is same, it is going to be checked is that actual picture, is there any changes. All right, so this is the really great feature of the tag helpers. All right, let's continue with the other feature. Let's comment this section. All right, we have a partial tag helpers. All right, let's go to our view again. But before that, let's have a look our HTML helper views. Where is our HTML helper controller? Let's go to our previous lesson. As you can see, to create a partial, we are using HTML partial, and we adding our root. We can add our model if it's needed, but we are using function. I mentioned before, using function is not applicable too much. It's not very good. So partial tag helper helps us to create a readable, much more flexible partial views. Okay, let's go to our index again. Let's make this section command line. Okay, before that, let's create a new folder here. Let's say partial, and let's add a new view. Let's empty let's say test. Perfect. I'm going to add here, I am coming from partial tag helper. Perfect. Let's go to main view right now, index. All right. Let's say I am coming from main view page. Let's add our partial view using tag helpers. We are using partial, and all we need to use names. Let's add our path views, tag helper, partial, and test.cshtml. Alright, let's close our tag. Is there any problem with our partial names views? It seems not like you. I think it must be finished like this. I'm not quite sure. Okay, let's see, is it going to work or not? I don't remember actually. No, it's not working. Okay, let's close. Is it going to be name? Oh, sorry, it's going to be name. It's my bad. It's my fault. Okay, let's close it. Perfect. Now it's working. Wave in browser, because the color has to be changed. Okay, I'm coming from main view page. I'm coming from the partial tag helper. Perfect. It's working. I assume you understand how tag helper is useful and how to use them at all. I'm gonna make this section command line again. Alright, let's have a look. Is there anything should I tell you? Next lesson, we're going to create our own tag helpers. So why we are using our own tag helpers? If you would like to use your C# code in your views, in your CSHTML files, it's going to make it a little bit dirty. So we're going to collect them all, put in a customized tag helpers, and we're going to publish it. And we are able to use those classes as a tag helper, guys. Alright, I'm going to finish this lesson here. If you like the video, I will be really appreciated. It really motivates me. Take care of yourself. See you next lesson. Bye bye, guys.